Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 47 of Syncing with ServiceNow. I'm your host for today, Andy Whiteside. Got the XenTegra Modern Apps team or some subset of them with me today. Fred Reynolds runs the practice. Fred, how's it going?
Going great, Andy. How are you doing today?
Good. You gonna do the commercial?
Yeah, we're just super excited. Oh, the overall commercial for our modern apps.
It's ServiceNow. Like if you're, I'll jump in. If you're using ServiceNow and you don't have a great partner, well, you're listening to one, and let us help you. I know
And if you're a
some people.
ServiceNow current customer and you want Acknowledge 2025, talk to us so we can help you get to 2026 or share with you why it'd be beneficial for you.
If you've got a CMDB, let us come take a free, complimentary, no strings attached look at it. It can't hurt. And
And if
from
you have
there,
ServiceNow and no CMDB, please call us quickly.
either way, call us. Let us get involved. There's opportunity to help. That's what we do as a partner. I know this sounds pretty bold and blunt to be able to say that, but we're batting 1,000. I swear we are. We get involved with a client that lets us take a look. We add value every single time.
100%.
Mike Sabia is with us. Mike is our master architect on all things, on most things. Oh, I caught myself. Nobody's all things.
The platform is huge. It's hard to be an expert in everything. But
Nobody's an
thank you.
expert in everything. And if you are, you're a liar. Guys, I know today we want to talk about Knowledge 2025 and what we saw there, and got a blog pulled up today. But let me use the blog to kick us off. The blog is from Evan Ramzipor from May 14th, 2025. The title is Four Top Takeaways from ServiceNow Knowledge 2025. I'll just read for a second here. Knowledge was an event for the history books. 3 days, exciting keynotes, information, informative panels, and collaborative breakout sessions. 25,000 ServiceNow customers, partners, investors, and developers. Lots of keynote conversations. We'll get into some of that. We're going to go through what ServiceNow here has in this blog: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those probably 1, 2, 3, and 400. If you were there, you saw that. But Fred, let's go to you first. Forget about what's in this blog. What was your number 1, 2, and 3 takeaways?
Man, let's see, because I have the 400 as well. Um, you know, One is kind of like my Super Bowl. This is what I do: is run this practice, work with ServiceNow every single day. So to me, it was so exciting to get there. My number one was how many clients we had come to the event overall, to our dinner. That we appreciate them. Just the conversations we had at our dinner, the booth traffic that we had was awesome. We had so many people coming up because they work with us that everybody around us just kept asking, "How do you guys know all these people?" So it felt really good to be in the ecosystem and be recognized. But really, a big thank you to like our current client base because they are really good. Number two is even through more conversations, Andy, you saw it for the time you were there. People are still really having some difficult times getting on a good foundation, whether that be their CMDB or just getting some of the basic use cases working correctly in ServiceNow. You talk to one client after the other, somebody just dropped by the booth and ask them where there's some of the pain points are, and it's so easy to pull them out. So my number two takeaway is just one, that people still need a lot of help from the foundational ways. They were all there. So number three would be we were there, and AI has been the talk of ServiceNow knowledge for the last 2, maybe 3 years. It's AI this, AI that, and that's where if you look at the first and two together, we XenTegra need to be there to help our clients and new clients get on a good foundation, get the most value out of ServiceNow, help them get their data set correctly so they can take advantage of some of the AI capabilities that are being put forward and find their own use cases to apply. So there's my three. But can I add a fourth? Being there with the team, being there with some XenTegra family made it a whole lot more enjoyable. Year over year, we just seem to get larger in the way that we represent ourselves there, and it makes it so fun. Everybody was enjoying it so much, Andy. A
Yeah.
lot of people didn't have time to go to sessions or go do those types of things that we had planned to do because it was so fun and energetic around our expo hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That was obviously a takeaway. More customers, more conversations, more customers needing help, legacy customers coming back. It was like homecoming, kind of felt like.
Yes. Yep.
Mike, how about yourself? Other than the four we're gonna talk about here as part of this blog, what takeaways did you come back with?
I would say the first one is, when the people stopped by at our booths, we could ask some probing questions, and it was clear that not everybody was fully leveraging ServiceNow, that all of their troubles were fully addressed. Perhaps it was not fully utilizing all the license capabilities they had. Maybe it was a CMDB that wasn't structured to their needs. Maybe it was a partner who's maybe a little out of touch with what their needs were. But we had some great conversations and some great leads, and we're reaching out to them now. As Fred said, it's AI, AI, AI. A lot of the past was, hey, specific use cases of case summarization, or like, and we'll talk about those today, but bring into some of the agentic capabilities. Fantastic.
Hey, Mike, let me tie your two comments together, 'cause I think you
Yeah.
said customers came to us not leveraging the platform for what they bought the platform for. They don't have their CMDB the way it needs to be. They're not using maybe some of the IT stack related technologies the way they should be. And then when you said, and it was all about AI, I think what you were saying was what the real customers are telling us, and what the all about AI thing is what ServiceNow is telling us. And if you take the first one and compare it to the second one, there's a lot of need for somebody to help folks get on the right pages.
In both ways, we work with customers. I was in a workshop today where they're not ready for AI because they need their foundational work still to be done properly. But there are other customers who absolutely want to get on that AI train to leverage the capabilities. Even like virtual agent, where you had to find conversations in the past, the ability of Now Assist to like look through your catalog items and ask the appropriate questions based on what's out there. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think Andy, like we had a lot of breakaway conversations. Left the booth, went and sat down and had conversations. And for those that like Mike are referring to, but there's some that are ready to take on some of the AI activities for their company, and some of those are just kind of starting at how do we begin. We had a lot of those conversations that what you're talking about is automation, true automation. Here's some of the things we can do natively in the platform that's there, without having to go the AI route. And then how do we progress that? So I think our steps moving forward with our clients is to really find out their roadmap around AI, and it may be just starting with the basics of getting some automation work and using the virtual agents, using the licenses they have today before they have to go as far as to procuring some more.
Fred, if a customer has a CMDB that's not quite in the best shape, should they be charging forward with AI?
Absolutely not, in my opinion.
No, they shouldn't. They're only going to make the problem worse.
Yeah, that's correct. And I'll
All
say
right.
one more thing about knowledge before we leave that. I'd have to give Mike some props because a lot of us were at the booth having great conversations, mingling, having fun, eating snacks. And I think two of the 3 days, Mike's was stuck taking certification tests that were taking him 3 to 4 hours each day. So
Oh, wow.
that's what you do when you're a certified master architect, is spend your time testing.
Get a lot more certifications. We started this conversation about the fact that it's hard to be an expert on everything, but me and a number of people have a tremendous amount of breadth, and we want to be able to understand the issues at a high level so that we can bring in the appropriate people who are experts in those areas.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred.
That's awesome. And Mike, thank you, and appreciate the investment and the time in both us, our clients, and ServiceNow. All right, let's walk through this blog here. Number one, believe it or not, number one is AI. AI plus data plus workflows equals the secret sauce. Mike, what are they trying to say in this section of the blog?
So we've all heard about AI, like old school AI, intelligence in the platform that's been on the platform for 7, 8 years. We heard about large language models, LLM, where you can go out and chat, query chat GBT. And the idea here is that with that data, which starts with the CMDB, but above and beyond that, any data in your system, you add that AI, you can add it into your workflows. Hey, here's my playbook for opening this case. Let's go and find out what information's out there. Here we want to do CRM, which we'll get to in number 3. How can we leverage that data? How can we, take the data and AI and move it into our business processes and the automated workflows? And that's where you really are able to differentiate yourself from products that are not doing this.
Fred, what else for this one?
And that first one, I think it talks about some of the people who are being effective with AI and their pace setters. I've only got a chance to go to one keynote, but some of that was about how they introduced AI and saved thousands of hours within their business unit, equaling money. So a lot of it is them having the right data sets, the right workflows built to take advantage of AI to make it successful. And we're not seeing a ton of pace setters today, but we're certainly seeing some out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we're talking about pace setters here, and I 100% agree. At the same time, I've got people coming to me thinking this AI thing's a bust and it's over and it's done. And just my little bit of AI usage within my own job, it's revolutionary and there's no end in sight.
Yeah.
With oversight, with proper oversight and verification and the like. Yep.
And really, yes, 100%. And just curiosity on how to use it, that has to come from, people that want to solve problems with it and have to realize it is game changing in terms of problem solving.
Yep.
Mike, back to you. AI agents. We're topic number 2, and we're still talking about AI, which is totally understandable. AI agents are must-haves.
Right. So, we're familiar the last couple of years reaching out to AI in order to get information. And that's absolutely a valid and useful function. But to have agents that behave automatically without us having to work with it, such as a virtual agent, hey, I'm asking this issue, it automatically goes out there, finds out catalog items, finds out the proper questions to ask without having to define those conversations. The you ask this, I answer this, you ask this, I then answer something else. The scale of it is incredible.
Yeah. Fred, you're a busy guy. Do you have a personal assistant?
I do not, but I need one.
Well, do you? Because I mean, this concept of agents, right? I don't have a personal assistant. I want one, but I'm afraid to invest in one because now I've got yet someone else to manage. I am already leveraging AI to do things on a daily basis that's made my life easier and more manageable. I think the concept of an agent as a personal assistant, I think that's so close to reality for me that within the next 6 to 12 months, I think the idea that I'd ever hire an assistant, it will not exist.
Yeah. No, I think we're very, very close. I mean, there's actually agents right now that perform the role of SDRs, even in the ServiceNow space. Using the data and calling out, trying to book meetings and things like that. And there's agents, and this is exactly what you would hire someone to do. I think we're going to see more and more of those agents. One thing before we jump to 3, Andy, real quick. So in these 2 sections here, one thing it does call out is, and I do believe this statistic. It says in the middle there, Gartner predicts that through 2026 that 60% of the projects in around AI will abandon. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that what we see today, I'll say it goes back to people buying additional applications on ServiceNow. The foundation has to be right. You have to have set your CMDB up correctly. You have to be able to build upon what you're doing. And the same thing goes here in AI. If your data is not structured correctly, if you don't have workflows, and a company that doesn't have the solid approach where you can go through and work with other organizations, then I don't think your AI projects are going to be very successful. So I think it has to go all the way from end to end. And if you can prove out some of the processes end to end without having barriers in there, then I think AI can be successful. But I think a lot of people's AI projects will be abandoned because they don't have the right foundation or working with the right partners to help them step into making it be adopted the way it should.
Yeah. And that's only going to be a big step back for the future projects they want to do or should be doing if these, starting projects fail.
But the good news is, I think that's why I do believe in the ServiceNow platform, because it's actually truly built a unifying platform to make sure that it can collect all the data across a company's organization, use that, build workflow. So I think if anybody has a chance of really, really coming around to use AI and its full capabilities, I think it's on a platform like ServiceNow.
Yeah. Hey, this next topic is an interesting one for me as a person highly involved in our sales and marketing organization. I'll read the first sentence. Sales teams play a critical role in a company's survival. Yes, absolutely. Yet many enterprises still use outdated CRMs, customer relationship management systems. Are you telling me ServiceNow is trying to get into the CRM space in a big way, Mike?
It absolutely is. And it's interesting in looking through the articles about the topic. One of the articles I was reading about was kind of saying we have CRM the traditional way, and then we have the CSM, the customer service management-ified version of CRM. There are CRMs out there where you track the customers, you track, contact and messages. It's a very manual process, but ServiceNow has taken that to the next step. It solves various use cases. It It identifies trends. It assists in the messages that you send out there. It logs the records. It gives you reminders. It finds those hidden trends. It has the support by having a chatbot to answer the questions that somebody might ask off hours. It reads the room to see like these messages, the tone of them, and gives you a heads up of it. It's pretty powerful. Yeah.
Can you, let me make a statement here and see if you agree. The most important customer relationship life cycle, I do the word life cycle, management systems, understand the work you're actively doing with the customer sentiment, and that adds value in such a way that you're creating what we like to call customer for life scenarios. And that is the right way to approach a CRM versus sales motions and sales operations.
I absolutely, I would add one more thing to that, and that is ServiceNow as that single pane of glass to be able to have everything in a platform means it can leverage. You can see, hey, this customer is a customer of ours and they are increasing the use. Let's reach out to them and make sure we have enough licenses. It takes that next step to look at their whole environment, not just, hey, let's automate some of this CRM.
Yeah, I
I
think
hesitated when I saw this part of the expo hall, and then once somebody explained to me that this was, the life cycle of the customer and sales process is really about understanding what's going on with the customer, end to end. It really does make a lot of sense that ServiceNow would want to be in this part of the business. Fred, you
Yeah, I mean, I know you spent a little bit of time over there in that circle, which I thought this year to me, when I look back at knowledge, thinking, yes, AI was a big focus, but this is the first time I've seen CRM being presented as big as it was at knowledge. It had a really nice space. They had very knowledgeable people there talking about it. And to me, this was always a big missing component for me when I was working in enterprise places that, you want to connect your sales team, you want to connect your back office, you want to connect the work that you're doing all together. And right now, most companies, I would dare say, over 90% is fragmented. You have your system doing your sales activities and you have your service delivery activities and back office. And this is where I think you start seeing more being unified on one platform. To Mike's point, everything that you're doing on the sales front, you already have the information of what you deliver to this customer, what that customer may own, especially if you're in the managed services space. And you can make offers, you can make promotions, you can reach out to them in a very automated fashion where you don't have to rely on your sales teams as much to go out there and bring it in. I mean, it can do it for you constantly.
That's a really good point. You get the data around what you're doing with a client and the activities beyond sales process, and then you bring in the sales process, and then all of a sudden you can use artificial intelligence, right? That's what AI stands for. And you can do proactive things that look and feel like a human being. It really is kind of the nirvana.
I mean, there's so much to understand about a customer's environment. I mean, again, I'll put it back in that managed services space because we have managed services as XenTegra as well. But if you understand your customer's environment, their software, their hardware, and you're using AI that's always looking and mining what issues could pop up, I mean, that's a great way to like stay in front of it and be proactive.
So Mike made a comment a while ago about 24/7, and it's here. It's got him John Siegler is an EVP at ServiceNow. His quote is, "The real magic of our AI platform and of AI agents is the autonomous orchestration of these agents that can happen 24/7." We used to have a guy that used to work for us, no longer works for us. Some challenges there. However, he kept saying over and over again, sales never sleeps. But it has to when it's human beings, but it doesn't have to when it's virtual agents.
Right. No, I agree.
All right, fourth one here. I'm going to go to Fred first and then back to Mike. This one says AI is elevating human developers. Interesting way to look at this. Fred, what are they trying to say in this section?
It's probably more. I was hoping you'd go to Mike, right? This is a Mike area, right? He's in the development.
Okay.
I'll
Mike,
actually deflect over to Mike. It's his area.
go ahead, Mike.
So we've heard from previous knowledge conferences that there are AI capabilities. You can, assuming you have the actions that ServiceNow licensed to you, you can ask for it to write some sample code. Hey, I want to flow this, and this. It's fantastic. But to then pull in the agents, the agentic AI, where you're able to take advantage of what those integrations are to say, hey, I want to have an integration between here and here and have it automatically see what those APIs are and set it up to be able to provide, those robust instructions based on just a normal prompt, it's super powerful. And if we can enable our people who are using it to be more effective, then we're more productive.
Fred, thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think it's an interesting thing. When I first started thinking about AI, assisting and helping with developments, I think, Mike and John's helped me understand a little bit more of how, it can actually assist and help. It can't take over everything that's being done there, but I do think it can be beneficial, it can speed up the rate at which things can be developed. In the same way, it can speed up, some of the AI capabilities and coding that has to be done for that, because a lot of these AI and the agents that are going to be out there, this stuff has to be created still. It's not there. So all this stuff has to be built and be use case specific. So I think we're going to have something that can help us get to the market as fast, and we humanly aren't possible to code that much.
Yeah. So at the bottom of this blog, it has a watch the sessions you missed, learn more about knowledge. I would highly recommend people to go back and take a look at those. Fred, now that you've had a chance to run through the blog and talk a little bit beforehand, what was the most, just one, what was the most interesting conversation? I was going to say customer conversation, client conversation. I'm gonna leave it open. What was the most interesting conversation you had with somebody at Knowledge?
I think it came at dinner when it was a new client of ours, but really shared his backstory, how he had to take over the ServiceNow platform, but yet that wasn't in his background. I mean, he kind of got dumped in his lap, and he kind of shared with me how embarrassed he was in the beginning about where they were, didn't really know who to talk to, didn't know, kind of how to go about some things. And I thought it was very good that he was vulnerable enough to say, and I shared the same thing, that this is what we experience a lot is people in that same state. That this is what we're here for. This is why you need a partner, that you don't have to be embarrassed about the state of your environment, your CMDB, not understanding all the licenses that are there. This is a complex, really huge platform that, again, somebody like Mike who has a CMA, he knows a quarter of it. Like, if you think about it, I don't know, maybe it's a whole lot more, but I mean, in detail, he probably knows a lot, maybe half. The thing is, it's ever growing and things are advancing so quickly. So someone who's taken over a platform and maybe his company's had it for 6 years, it's embarrassing to go back and say, hey, we're not properly using our CMDB, but you have to. And that was the whole thing. I was like, look, you're saying that. I've got 20 other people at this table saying the same thing. You're not alone.
Right.
And some of these are big enterprises. So to me, it really shared, Andy, that why we do this and why it's still exciting every day, because we can truly go help people who are in need, and not just go in there and say, hey, let's go do this for you and walk away. Like, they need people that are going to be there and ride the journey with them through the good and the bad.
Mike, are you a singer?
Oh dear.
A singer in
Can
the
you
showers?
sing?
No, my kids are all doing a choir right now, so it's fantastic, but
Yeah.
not so much.
As Fred was saying that, was there a line in a song that came to your head?
Everyone needs someone.
You are not alone. All of them, right?
Can you
All
post,
our
can you
customers
post
are in the
those
same
things?
boat. We have a client that we're a big citrus shop. We have
Mhm.
we have a partner, really. He's a partner now. He started off as a customer, and he's got a website, used to have one called the Accidental Citrix Admin. I guarantee you there are a lot of accidental ServiceNow admins out there.
A lot.
Yeah. Mike, kind of wrapping it up here. What's one conversation you had that week that really just stuck with you?
I alluded earlier the fact that, somebody might come by and they might want to have a stamp or go into a raffle, but if you can start asking questions like, hey, what are you doing now? Do you have a partner? Are they utilizing you? Are you happy with them? And they start having pauses, and sometimes those answers are like, we're using it now and we're not sure. If you want another partner like us to just come and do a little assessment or just do a little sanity test of what you're doing, it can be just as powerful as finding, at least for us, finding a new partner who knows what they want to do.
Right.
Coming back a couple minutes, we were talking about, hey, some people may be a little embarrassed about how they're using the platform. Others are like, hey, we've done this stuff and we're not taking advantage of everything that ServiceNow has. Well, that's because you've been on this platform for 8 years and it didn't exist then. Come back and reevaluate. Look at your business processes, identify what improvements can be made. You don't have to be a brand new customer or looking to implement a new product for you to have tremendous advantages in working with us.
It's too robust, too much going on, too dynamic, too fast moving. You could have a whole team of people and not be on top of what's going on there, and having some outside advisement. In fact, you should always have two partners. I'm a big believer and advocate on having two partners, and making sure you're kind of open with both around what you're trying to accomplish, and you kind of be able to weigh some ideas off of both. Fred, Mike, thanks for the time. I'm sure we'll have more Knowledge 2025 conversations. Appreciate it, and look forward to doing this again in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Very good.
Have a good day.
Thank you.